What's up with it, La Familia? Happy Sunday. Just had to pop in real quick.
J-U-S-T-J-A-E, fake niggas free, M-O-B, first lady on the panel, just J is the channel. When you're watching, gon' sub, hit that like, leave a comment, respect what she all about. Haters gon' walk it out, a lady be a lady, right now bitch, close your mouth. A Midwest gangster, thuggin' in the South, a princess from Chicago, ATL queen, pull up on the shoulder, she the hottest in the city, she a badass bitch, yeah, that thing sitting pretty, hold it up, light it up, we just wanna smoke and ride. If you look into her eyes, she'll leave you hypnotized. Soft spoken when she talk, don't get it twisted, She got lady too bold, yeah they with it, What in is you too street, she ain't come out here to play. Niggas like, who that is? That's my homie Just Jay. What's happening?
I'm just gonna get right up into it. So since I'm behind, I'm gonna do a recap on day one or reaction to day one of the trial. Give me 1 second.
Since y'all hoes so worried about it, yes, this Tory shot me. You shot me. And you got your publicists and your people going to these blogs lying and shit. Stop lying.
It's day one of the Tory Lanez trial for the shooting of Megan Thee Stallion. Law and Crime senior reporter Megan Cuniff, who was in the courtroom, recaps the top moments. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. All right, let's head over to Los Angeles for a recap of day one of the Megan Thee Stallion shooting trial. I'm talking about rapper Tory Lanez, who's accused of firing 5 rounds at the musician after she allegedly insulted him. Now, prosecutors say this resulted in bullet fragments being lodged in her feet. This alleged altercation happened back on July 12th, 2020, after a pool party at the Hollywood Hills home of Kylie Jenner. Lanez is charged with assault with a semi-automatic firearm, personal use of a firearm, and intentional discharge of a firearm. But actually, last week, prosecutors added an additional third charge of negligent discharge of a firearm. It's essentially an alternative to the assault charge. And I should mention that Mr. Lanez faces a maximum of nearly 23 years in prison if convicted. So
much has came out. It's really making Megan look like she was telling the truth in a way.
Let's go over the key moments from day one. And joining me is someone who was in that courtroom, Law and Crime senior reporter on the West Coast. I should call her Megan the reporter, Megan Cuniff. Good to see you, Megan. Thanks for coming on Sidebar.
Thanks for having me. Good to see you.
First, let's just talk real quick about what the scene was like before we even talk about some of the key moments, because I heard it was a packed courtroom. There are a lot of people who are interested in this case. What's the scene like there?
Definitely. It was a very packed courtroom. There was a regular group of courthouse reporters there, but then there really is a large contingency of music journalists and hip hop enthusiasts and people who write for hip hop websites and have really been tracking this case forever. And I
It's crazy how so much came out about this girl.
thought it was remarkable because I mean it's a great trial. It was really interesting. I went in there being a little unfamiliar with all the details of the case, but I was really interested to hear it all and see the attorneys. But I really got the impression that everyone around me was just hanging on everyone's word in this trial. I mean, it's everything that's said and everything that's presented in the trial is so important to the people who have been tracking this forever. And it really kind of reiterated just how sacred our judicial system is and in the jury trial system and how important it is for people in disputes to have a courtroom like this to kind of settle things.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially since we're not entirely sure what happened. You mentioned words. So, one of the key moments from day one is the prosecution's opening statement. What were the first two words that the prosecutor used to explain what happened that day?
Dance, bitch. The prosecutor looked right at the jury and he said, dance, bitch. He said those were the words that the defendant said as he fired 5 rounds from a semi automatic handgun at the victim.
I do want to get into a little bit of the prosecution, what they said they were going to present, right? There's Tory's recorded phone call from jail. There are these text messages. What did the prosecution lay out that they say this is why Tory is guilty of what he did, allegedly did?
Yeah, the prosecutor had a PowerPoint during his opening that really walked through the jurors through some key evidence. They had body camera footage of the police pulling the car over at gunpoint. And then they had the phone call that Tory made to Kelsey Harris from jail where he's apologizing. He doesn't actually say what he's apologizing for, but he repeatedly says that he was just so drunk and that this never would have happened if he hadn't been so drunk. And then they also have text messages that he's
So what is he apologizing for? If he didn't do nothing.
sent Megan hours later after he got out of jail saying, Meg, I'm sorry. But again, he doesn't actually say what he's sorry for in there. So Tory's lawyer was able to say that he wasn't apologizing for the shooting. He was apologizing for causing the situation that led to the shooting, which is some kind of love triangle jealousy thing between the two women, Tory's lawyer says.
Yeah, I want to get into that in a second before the defense. Just focusing on the prosecution for a second, we did hear some other witnesses. We heard some first witnesses and the 911 phone calls from after the gunshot. Shots were fired. What was the impact of that in the courtroom? Because I think that's a probably notable moment, the first presentation of evidence.
Yeah, the first witness really set the scene for them. He wasn't the most compelling, commanding witness in the courtroom, but he had the facts of just responding to the shooting scene that night, and he went around and looked at the scene and took pictures of evidence, and he found 4 spent shell casings. He found a gold chain and a pendant that looked
Hey,
detached
Brenda.
from each other, and he also found an acrylic nail, a loose acrylic nail. So there were photos of all those shown to the jury and then actually entered as evidence. So that kind of set the stage for here's the scene of the shooting.
Stranger danger. I am not asleep. I'm in on an important phone call with family. Now you hold on.
And then they move into the traffic stop, and then they talk to the detective about the jail phone call that Tory made. So they really were able to get a lot of the basic evidence in to kind of set up the stage for what happened here.
How graphic were those 911 phone calls?
You know, the 911 calls weren't very graphic. The neighbors sound concerned, but they're reporting gunshots, and they just say that they heard gunfire. And one woman had one call kind of had the courtroom laughing because she really didn't want to give her name, and she was just kind of funny in how she said, you know, she definitely knows what gunshots sound like, but she doesn't want the police coming to her home and that kind of thing. But it really just established that this was a loud thing that happened. And somebody even said, you know, it sounds like a woman is being hurt and there's some kind of domestic violence thing. So it was good for prosecutors to just get it out there what happened there.
Moving on to the defense, they presented an opening statement. What's their main argument? Why are they saying that this is not a case of as simple as shut as the prosecution's making it, that there's more to the story? What was their main argument?
So Tory's lawyers
My bad, y'all.
first words to the jury were jealousy. He said, "This is about jealousy, ladies and gentlemen." He said, "It's really going to come down
Salute pressure. What's up, Bushmaster? Sleepy Rod. What up, stranger? My bad, y'all.
to what led up to them getting into the Escalade, and then why did Megan want to flee the vehicle?" And he said that he has a key witness who's a neighbor who was in that area and heard all the noise and came out on his balcony, and he said that he's going to testify to seeing Kelsey, somebody who was in the position in the car where Kelsey would have been, actually exit the vehicle and go up to the front passenger seat where Megan would have been and start fighting. He saw a fight between two women, which is supporting Tory's argument that he wasn't the shooter. It was actually Kelsey who shot Megan.
See, that's what's so interesting.
Y'all ignorant. Who y'all think did it? Do y'all think Meg did it, or Tori or Chelsea? Because both of them had residue on their arm. But it get interesting. They want to get interesting because a lot came out.
It's a lot of this is going to revolve around the testimony of Megan the Stallion, who is going to take the stand. And correct me if I'm wrong, but during during day one, the prosecutor said that acknowledged that Tory and Megan, they had been intimate before, they'd had sex. When, if I recall correctly, and I think the defense brought this up, Megan had told CBS's Gail King that they never had sex. So
Line.
if that's a case where she
Line. That was a word. That was a play of word. I feel. But that didn't make her credibility look good either. Southwest. Who the hell? Oh.
wasn't telling the truth about that, and we know her credibility is going to come into question, because isn't it also true that she wasn't entirely forthcoming about how she got the injuries to her foot? She first said it was glass, then acknowledged that it was gunshots. Did you get the sense?
True. So do y'all think that it was shrapnel or fragments, or do y'all think she actually got like hit in the foot? Rob, I'm sick of you and your conspiracies.
From day one that Megan's credibility is going to be a big issue for the prosecution?
Absolutely. And Tory's lawyer has been really upfront that he's going to be questioning Megan about her inconsistent statements and really trying to drive home that she's, changed her story on this a lot. But I think that there's going to be a
So from what I've been getting from day one, the whole case is trying to basically set it up like Kelsey did it. Well, both of them, Kelsey and Tori, had residue on their hands, and Kelsey was supposed to have been fighting. Well, Megan was supposed to have been fighting. Hey, Montrese, Kelsey, because I don't know, a lot coming out now. Y'all is.
fine line between how aggressive he can be and whether he kind of skirts into an area of an older man pressing a 27-year-old woman about her sex life on the witness stand. I mean, I think there's a chance that it's not going to come across very well for jurors, that it seems like the kind of defense that looks really good in the tabloids and it's kind of driven for the headlines and the media experience, but when it actually plays out in front of 12 people who aren't invested in the case, I think it's going to be very difficult for him to cross-examine Megan like that. But he's obviously prepared. I mean, and I think if anyone understands the difficult line he's got to walk, it's Tory's lawyer when he does the cross. So it'll be interesting to watch.
Yeah, I think this is a fascinating case. I'm really curious to see where it goes. It doesn't seem so simple. Doesn't seem so open and shut. I think the defense has some good arguments. I think the prosecution has some strong arguments. So,
I don't know. Once y'all get to hearing the testimony of that day, y'all might have a different opinion on what happened that night.
Megan, the reporter, Megan Cuniff, I can't wait for you to continue reporting on this. And thanks for taking the time to come on Sidebar.
Thanks so much for having me.
And that's all we have for you here on Sidebar, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here. Please subscribe on Apple Podcasts.
So let me see if I can find where they was actually telling how, which was irrelevant to me. Hey, sis. Oh, she was supposed to have been just running behind Kelsey, period. The baby, um, Tory Lanez, and what's that basketball player being a Victor? I can't remember, but his face is on the thumbnail. Since I'm behind, oh, since I'm behind, I'm trying to go back to day one, y'all, cause they on day 3 now, and a lot came out on day 1 that makes you go, Meg testified today. What up, Gab? Meg testified today. Well, hold on. Oh, this man, I do not like him. Shout out to this person who I'm finna. I don't even think I should play his video. Here go figures. He using a scam material. Hold on. How y'all doing today? I'm trying to find something with this particular lawyer not on here because he be making stuff up. Okay. I know that. What you say that for?
Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez shooting trial 2 years after Megan Thee Stallion says the rapper shot her in the foot following an argument inside an SUV in Hollywood Hills. Prosecutors presenting their case against Lanez, whose legal name is Daystar Peterson, say he personally inflicted great bodily injury upon Megan Thee Stallion, whose legal name is Megan Pete. But Lanez denies these claims. Here's video of Tory Lanez entering the courthouse earlier. Cameras are not allowed inside the court, but as our team receives updates, we're going to provide them to you. Sources tell ABC News that Megan is expected to testify tomorrow. ABC News contributor and host
I'm surprised you ain't got no hangover, Rob.
of Law and Crime Network, Brian Buckmeyer, is following the case. He joins me now, along with ABC News contributor Mike Muse. So, Brian, first, last week, Tory Lanez charged with an additional felony count here, discharging a firearm with gross negligence. He's pleaded not guilty to all these felony
They done added extra charges, y'all.
charges in the case. What do you expect to take place in court today?
Today, we're expecting opening statements for both sides to lay out the groundwork for what they're expecting the jury will hear throughout the trial. For the prosecution, the story is pretty straightforward. They're going to say that Tory Lanez either shot or shot at Megan Thee Stallion and either directly hit her feet or, as opposed to this new charge they added at, recklessly discharged a firearm in the proximity of her feet, causing some sort of injury. And for Tory Lanez, what we're starting to hear and maybe heard from the preliminary hearing, that someone else shot at her, that Kelsey Harris, her assistant, who was in the car, and whether or not either side is going to be able to push the needle toward their side.
So now Kelsey is on the prosecution side. She testifying for the prosecution side whole time. Megan done got into all of this, but the whole time Tory's setting it up, like allegedly the way they making it look, or the way it's been looking like Tory been setting it up to make it look like Kelsey did it, because remember they always said Kelsey had gunpowder on her hand and Tory didn't, but that's not true. Both of them did. Hey, Dragon.
Is just a preview of these opening statements.
Yeah, so that's where the trial is going to focus. And Mike, Tory Lanez is outspoken about this incident, as he has been throughout. And on social media, he claims his last tweet, he writes, quote, "No weapon formed against me shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against me in judgment shall be condemned. You sit and watch now," citing a biblical verse as well there. So what's the backstory here? Why is this significant in this area of our culture?
Well, not only is this happening right now in the court of law, but this case is actually happening in court of public opinion and also, too, on the court of Twitter. There's been a lot of conversations on both sides, those individuals who are supporting Tory Lanez and fans of his, as well as those who are supporting Megan Thee Stallion. And so a lot of social commentary has weighed in on the validity of both sides. These two are also major pop stars. Both of them have put out, in Tory's case, a full album dedicated to this entire situation, where he says that.
Who is Joshua P? Who is Joshua P? Rob. Hey, everybody in the chat, but Red Bell.
That he is innocent, he's being framed. Megan Thee Stallion then responded in a single to which she denounced his claims and talked about herself being the victim. This then goes into the social discourse of dialogue about believing women. We've seen letters that have come out from individuals of nonprofit organizations, elected officials in support of Megan Thee Stallion, including individuals from Planned Parenthood, about believing Black women and the importance of believing Black women. And when Black women say they are in harm, to believe them as.
But they think that they be what aggravates me is they act like they support us, like they take up for us, like they be there for us. And then all these men coming at this woman and don't even know the facts. I know she fabricated a lot of stuff at the beginning, but a lot of stuff coming out right now. Like, why would she go through the whole case if she didn't have some type of case? People, I don't know why people ain't looking at it like that. I look at stuff different.
And so you see two things, one within the pop culture setting, and then one around when it comes to dynamics with women in the public sphere and them being believed.
That was so helpful, Mike. Thank you for me. I'm not following. My wife is a huge Megan Thee Stallion fan, and Tory Lanez, both of them big stars. But this shooting, this controversy, it doesn't seem to have hindered Tory Lanez's career at all. Certainly, Megan Thee Stallion is just a giant star. The musician has shared his artist's Spotify Wrapped, revealing he was only 9 million streams, shy of 1 billion. So, and Megan's been attacked, as you pointed out, on social media, people casting doubt on the nature of injury. So what does this tell us about the industry right now?
Rob, what is she doing? Look, we ain't got time for all of that. That's how people is identifying. We know what we talking about. You don't have to be that technical. Tell me she not a black woman. Cause he's saying she not a color. No, we ain't in colors, but that's the way that's the way to describe. That's the way that she was described. Everybody don't say melanated. Everybody not trained yet. You got to do a deprogramming, but you can't crucify because they keep saying it. Because a lot of people ain't never gonna sway to that side.
That and how the community is responding to this story.
Well, Terry, you were just talking about coming off of Twitter right now, right? And due to social media and big tech and platforms, what they've done is they've allowed for individuals to find their tribe. It's allowed individuals to find their fan base, and for those who support, and then they can strategically target those fan bases.
I don't like you.
There are supporters of Tory Lanez's music, and who also too believe that what Megan Thee Stallion isn't true. So they are supporting him.
I can't stand him. Him and his conspiracies is really getting out of control. She's a black man. Yeah, it's gonna be okay. One day, Rob, it's gonna be okay. I believe it.
Including some of his fellow colleagues and peers and rappers, such as Drake, who did a single that alluded to the validity of what Megan Thee Stallion's claims were made of. And then you also see on the flip side of the table with Megan Thee Stallion, who's extremely popular, who's done songs with Cardi B, who's done songs with Beyonce, is extremely popular, and her fans are also too interested in streaming. So I think of the fact of people are able to find their silos, their tribes, and able to market and speak directly to those to make them aware of their products to really get the streaming and the music out there.
Got it. So, Brian, obviously what happens in court,
I was just going to say this has absolutely nothing to do with what I was trying to listen to. Who is Joshua Pete? And do it got something to do with this trial? Says now you know how Rob be going on his little tangents. In a minute, Elvis gonna walk in. If he ain't already in here.
It's not about tribes. It is about the evidence and the standard of evidence and the way the trial is conducted. So Kelsey Harris, I guess, who's a former friend of Megan Thee Stallion, and was inside that car when the shooting happened, she's expected to testify on Wednesday. Tell me about her testimony, how important it might be, and what you think of how this trial is going to progress.
Well, for the prosecution, I don't think she's that big of a witness because she's simply an eyewitness to what Megan Thee Stallion is going to testify to, that being that Tory Lanez is absolutely the person who shot at her, and that's going to be the prosecution's theory in the case. But for the defense, she could be everything, because for the defense, they're saying that both her and Tory Lanez had their hands tested for GSR, or gunshot residue, and that could be the reasonable doubt as to whether or not Tory Lanez shot the gun or Kelsey Harris. Now, she's not going to get up on the stand and say, yes, I'm the one who shot at Megan Thee Stallion. I kept my mouth.
Rob, I will never take your advice again.
Shot for 2+ years, but the defense is going to have to work out some kind of questioning, some kind of argument, trip her up in some kind of way to question her credibility and create that reasonable doubt that Tory Lanez can then expand upon, either through his lawyers or if he takes the stand, to try to raise reasonable doubt and find some kind of not guilty verdict in this case.
Exactly. That's a classic tactic. You're going to point the finger elsewhere to get that reasonable doubt. So finally, Brian, what is Tory Lanez facing
Chelsea said
in terms of sentencing if he is found guilty of these very serious crimes?
Well, it's two things. One, he's got the criminal conviction and the sentencing there. He's facing 22 years and I think 8 months on top of that. But the last time I checked, he and I were born in Canada about 30 minutes away from each other. He could get deported. I don't think he's got a green card or citizenship.
Right. That's what I was thinking. I think they probably deport him.
So it's not just about the jail time. It's about what happens after the jail time. Will he be able to come back to the States and make the money that he's been making for the last couple of years?
Wow, a lot at stake.
Not to mention his child living in the States.
Legally and culturally. And so Brian Buckmeyer, Mike News, thanks for helping us with it. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking.
This ain't tell me nothing. Nothing. I heard that I wanted y'all to hear. They didn't tell me none of that. Hold on. No, I'm not taking no more advice from Rob. I don't know what the heck you had me looking at. No, you sad. You sad and it's fast. Getting real sad fast. Right. Right. Like we the one in there talking in riddles or something. I'm trying to find a video that they probably won't mind if I share. Okay, hold on. Go on. Because it was a lot of stuff said on day one that I'm trying to find a video that I can play and do a reaction to that won't get strikes. I know certain content creators, especially bigger content creators, don't like you to use their stuff. So, shout out to Law and Crime Trial Network. And let's see if she says what I was listening for. Did she mention it? Then you'll believe it. Lala is saying it's a picture of her as a little girl. Oh,
California, where Canadian rapper Tory Lanez is to stand trial for allegedly shooting fellow rapper Megan Thee Stallion. The shooting happened this summer of 2020 after rapper Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez attended a party at Kylie Jenner's home. Lanez has denied the shooting and
okay. They hadn't even started then. Hold on. It's well wrinkled. The link, cause the link pinned in the chat. Ooh, child. Yeah, I'm talking about day one got spicy. If I could find a video that I could play. Hold on. But basically, I'm gonna tell y'all what I saw first, and then I'm gonna tell y'all what, and then I'm gonna find a video seeing it. So Kylie's supposed to have thrown. Hold on, I wonder if. Let me see if I can play this. I'm gonna do a reaction to. Shout out to This Happened.
At Kylie Jenner's house.
I had went there and we were just hanging out and I was ready to go because I had been there all day. Help me.
So it was said on the stand on day one that they was put out by Kylie Jenner. So that was so she fabricated something right there.
Like, and if you saw it, just
Allegedly.
help me. Like,
it looks like Kylie Jenner still has beef with Megan Thee Stallion, and she's now trying to get back at her by helping Tory Lanez. Kylie is set to testify as Tory's witness in Megan's upcoming trial against Tory over the infamous 2020 shooting incident. But why is Kylie even inserting herself in this situation?
Nope, that's the link to the to my StreamYard at the top page.
Why is she going out of her way to help Tory? Well, fans are saying Kylie's always been jealous of Megan, and just like the rest of the Kardashian Jenner clan, she can't miss out.
This is so irrelevant. She's supposed to throw them out her house because Meg got jealous and a little bit, I guess, aggressive, and because he was flirting with her. So let's see if they say that, because yeah, this giving like too much.
Out on an opportunity to put down a black woman.
I really thought that we were all friends. And sometimes I feel like I put the blame on myself.
My thing with Meg though is you was, when you first came in the industry, you was friends with everybody. You was over there kicking it with Jordan, with her and Kylie, one friends or whatever, and stuff like that be weird to me.
Because when my mom passed, I just felt like I was looking for some type of family environment, and I was letting so many people in.
The reason why I say weird is because y'all was trying to make her feel jealous by letting her know that she had a friend beside you, and then the next thing you know, you in the pool at her pool party kicking it. I just had to say that.
The whole drama is seriously messy, and it paints Kylie in a really bad light. So let's get into it. As you all probably know, Megan Thee Stallion is dealing with an ongoing case against Tory Lanez over the shooting incident that happened back in June 2020 after a pool party at Kylie Jenner's house. And although Tory tried really hard to push back the trial and was a no-show at several court hearings, it's just been confirmed that the case is going to trial in a matter of days. According to a new report from Rolling Stone magazine, Tory was recently released from house arrest to prepare for the trial, and the jury selection process started on Monday, December 5th. Tory has been placed on house arrest in October to wait for the trial.
That ain't gonna do no good because that's old. That's not the day the trial started. Oh, Miss Greg, hold on. certain bloggers just take stuff and run with it. And then don't want you to use don't want you to react off of their video. Like I like Lovely T. Hopefully she don't have a problem with me playing her video. Shout out to Lovely T. React. Excuse me. Reacted to. Let me go get a water. Reacted to her video.
Tell your friends and your family. It's the Lovely Tea TV show, bringing you good tea and good vibes.
Evening. So if you guys do not know, the Meg Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez trial started today. And child, a lot of tea's coming out. A lot of stuff is being spilled. The guy from Lawyers for Work, he's the one who had covered the Tekashi 6ix9ine trial. He's speaking on what he heard in the courtroom. And also Dennis Byron, who covered the Cardi B trial. Shout out to Dennis. He's also speaking on what went down in the courtroom as well. Now, what's very interesting is that months ago, I told Meg Thee Stallion fans, and I told a lot of people, that her sexual business would be brought into the courtroom. I was cussed out. I was told I was shaming her, all because I called out her Gayle King interview, and I said she's clearly lying. And what's going to be more embarrassing with her lying to Gayle King is when all this comes out in a court of law.
Did you have an intimate relationship with him?
Like sexual?
Yeah. Did you have?
What you laughing at, Rob?
Did you have a sexual relationship with Tory Lanez? Yes, that's my question.
And she just gonna blatantly lie.
I didn't have a sexual relationship with Tory.
People swore up and down that her sex life had nothing to do with this situation. It would not be brought out. I was reaching, but I told y'all it would be brought out because the defense has to come up with some type of motive. Okay. And they're going to play the game that the motive, another possible motive in the shooting could be Kelsey because they're so busy fighting over multiple dicks. From what's coming out, they're saying Megan and Kelsey both smashed Ben Simmons. They smashed the baby. They smashed Tory. It's a mess. At the end of the day, do I care?
Ooh, child.
Care that they smashed all these people? No. But I told you guys this was all going to come out in a court of law. And so now everybody's talking about it. It's all over social media. Like I said, from day one, I have no dog in this fight. I'm just here to sip tea and see what ends up happening. Of course, they're going to pull all stops because Tory's literally fighting for his life here. I think the max he's looking at is 20 years, which is really serious. So it's going to be very interesting to see which way this goes. But I want to go ahead and play you guys the videos, both from Lawyers for Workers and also from Dennis Byron. So y'all can go ahead and listen to what they got to say. Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think about this situation that's come out so far. They even talked about how Kylie Jenner had to put Megan out the house because of a bunch of drama. They're saying that Corey Gamble is supposed to be coming in.
This is a whole mess right here.
And I'll be doing a live stream sometime this week. So thank y'all for tuning in. I'll talk to y'all later.
Had opening statements. Opening statements are still actually going. We have to pause midway through for lunch. Better than TV. If you watch the prosecution's opening statement, you would say guilty. If you then watch the defense's opening statement, you would say, what the hell is the prosecution thinking, charging him? Basically, the prosecution started with this story. They said that, hey, they're all at the party, and Tory is leaving the party with Meg. They're in the car. An argument breaks out, during which Meg says and insults his skills as a rap artist. This leads to a situation where she gets...
We've been trying to get these details for how many years now? 3 or 4. He got mad because she insulted him as an artist. Now, mind you, he got mad because August Alsina wouldn't even speak to him. So come on now, make it make sense.
Gets out of the car and he shoots at her feet and yells, "Dance, bitch." And then she ends up at a hospital and a doctor takes out 3 fragments of bullet wounds from her foot. Now, if you just hear, and the prosecution says that Kelsey, the other woman in the car, is going to testify that Tory shot Meg. And Kelsey has a text message where she texts somebody that, hey, Tory shot Meg. And then the rest of the prosecution's case is based on all these calls and texts where Tory's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so drunk." He never says that I shot him. He's like, "Oh, I'm just so sorry. I'm so drunk." So question what he's apologizing for. So that's the prosecution's case. Seems pretty easy. Then the defense comes up and man, it gets spicy. First, the defense goes, they're not telling you about half of what's going on. The most important thing they're not telling you about an eyewitness who saw 2 women fighting, Kelsey and Meg. And so let's talk about why them 2 are fighting. Let's talk about how she was in the
Okay, now that's when it started getting juicy.
front seat. The gun was caught in the front seat. Let's talk about how she might have gunpowder. She does have gunpowder. Let's talk about how this has nothing to do with the fight between Tory and Meg and everything to do with the fight between Meg and Kelsey. And then the defense starts dropping the bombs. He basically says this, that they're in the car.
Most definitely says somebody lying, but everybody made Meg come out as a liar. And now they had a quarter law and they under oath. And they're not say they wouldn't tell the absolute truth under oath, but a lot of stuff coming out. I'm talking dog. Rob, you thinking about them damn dogs? I know they on day 3. I'm behind 2 days, so we'll see if we can catch up.
Yeah, they left, but do you know why they left? They left because Kylie and Tory were in the pool together. And Kelsey and Meg both felt some type of way about that, to the point that Meg felt really some type of way about that. And she was really trying to go, to the point that eventually, because of how Meg is acting, this is according to the defense, Kylie Jenner goes to Meg Thee Stallion and says, "It's time for you to leave." They all leave. The defense's point is what happens in the car is this. Tory questions Kelsey, "Hey, Kelsey, why are you backing up Meg for me trying to, get it on with Kylie Jenner? Meg has been snaking men from you your whole life. I hooked up with you, Kelsey." And then Meg went behind your back and hooked.
That don't sound like Tory to y'all. I mean, I know we don't know him, but that don't sound like him to y'all. Like he came out all humble. Now he just turned into this person. That he is like a mean boy. Like a bully. He said, "Nah, it's getting juicy now. This the moment we've been waiting for, because now they talking. Everybody been quiet."
Hooked up with me. And
right.
Kelsey, this is not the first time. You have been hooking up with Ben Simmons. Meg went behind your back and hooked up with Ben Simmons. You have been hooking up with the baby. Meg went behind your back and hooked up with the baby. And so the defense starts dropping all these grenades. The crowd is captivated. The jury's like, "Oh, what's going on?" All right, we're back with the rest of the update in Tory Lane. So we are taking our afternoon break. There's going to be more testimony at the end of the day. But right now, let me catch you up on what's happened since lunch. The defense continued and concluded their opening statement. They confirmed.
You mean she's snaking her best friend? Because she went behind her best friend. All these men, her best friend, either her best, I don't know. You never know. They probably did know. Yeah, he needed another nap. Because I woke up to turn your live off. And I ain't been to sleep since then. So, yeah. You're welcome. I'm going to need my paycheck first thing in the morning.
That their theory of the case is going to be that Kelsey was the shooter. Tory was just trying to break up the fight. Then the prosecution went up. They put on a police officer as their first witness. This is the police officer who arrived at the scene of the shooting. He testified about how he saw gun casings, blood spatter. This was a big mistake, in my opinion, because the defense attorney ended up tearing this police officer's testimony to shreds. He basically got the officer to admit that they did not use the proper evidence markers to mark and identify the location of every piece of evidence. So the police cannot tell you where blood was found exactly in relation to the gun casings, where, based on the trail of blood, the victim would have walked around. They can't tell and paint the whole story of what happened when the person.
So they basically can't say where the gum, the blicky, as my daughter called it, was pointing towards the ground and the fragment flew up, or was they actually pointed at her feet?
Got out of the car. Why, if you can't paint that story, why, if you didn't use the evidence markers, why, if you purportedly have a very simple case, did you waste your time making your first witness a police officer whose testimony is going to get torn to shreds by the defense attorney? Big mistake, in my opinion, if you ask me. From here going forward, the defense will always be able to point out that the government's investigation is completely incapable of telling the jury about the movement of the victim outside of the car. So if you're trying to inject reasonable doubt, alternative theories, you've now done a great job setting it up that the government story has holes in it.
All right, we wrapped up the first day of Tory Lanez trial testimony. Let me tell you what happened at the end of the day. This will be a two-parter. On this first part, let's cover what prosecutors believe is their key piece of evidence after the testimony they expect to get from Meg.
Girl, she kills me with that. She better get her own blicky.
And the other woman who's in the car. So here's the prosecutor's point, that there's a jailhouse phone call reminder to everyone: when you get arrested and you're sitting in jail, they are listening, they are recording. What you say on that phone will be used against you. According to prosecutors, Tory calls the other woman who was in the car, Kelsey, and basically admits to shooting and apologizes profusely to her. The problem with that theory, according to the defense, is that, well, he never says he shot her. He's just apologizing profusely, and he could be apologizing for a lot of things. According to the defense, the apology is for basically blowing up Kelsey's spot and revealing that he had been in a relationship with both of them. What side will the jury believe? It's way too early in the evidence. That call on its own means nothing. In fact, the evidence that was presented was through a detective. They asked that detective, hey, when did you listen to this jailhouse call? What can you tell us about it? He basically said, I heard it last week. They asked me to go retrieve it from the system. I retrieved it. I'm playing it here for y'all today. What does it mean? What does he mean? What's he talking about? I don't know that from that. So I couldn't really tell you. And he can't. And the jury is going to be looking at the rest of this evidence to really decide.
His day one. Day one, it was like crazy. They done found out they screwing. Well, she found out. That's probably why their friendship broke up, because she not because of who pulled the trigger, but because of what she found out before the trigger was pulled. And Tory instigated it, because he the one who told.
That, hey man, when this guy's calling Kelsey and saying, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to, what's he talking about?
If you want the latest news in the streets, join us and tune in for the tea.
Shout out to Lovely T for that. I sound sleepy. I'm tired. I don't know. Because what they trying to do is they trying to set it up and make it seem like Kelsey did it. You know what I'm saying? But she's testifying on the prosecution side against him. So it didn't necessarily have to make it. Once you find out all this stuff, your friend did all this stuff. Yeah, I believe that's reasons for y'all to fall out as friends. But at the same time, this is something totally different. So let's see how this goes. I don't like Rob at all. Let me see. I watched something that it just like told like everything. But basically, we already heard what they said in day one. They found out they both were sleeping. I think Ben Simmons, is that his name? Ben Simmons, the baby, and Tory. Kelsey found out that day. What's the face? Tory told her that he asked her, he don't know why she's taking up for him, and she slept with X, Y, and Z, which leads me to believe that Chelsea didn't know that. Chelsea, whatever her name. She didn't know that. So that's probably what broke up their friendship. That doesn't necessarily mean she, pulled the trigger, because both of them had gun residue on their fingers. So this is tricky, because they kept on saying, at first they just kept on saying it was only Chelsea, whatever her name is. So let's see what happened in day 2. Ben say leave him out of this though. I think I said his name right. Okay, let me see. Oh. Give me a second. Yeah. They was yelling at her when she was walking in the courtroom yesterday, asking her why she girl. But you see already he have a height complex. Look how he act. He did Polar August that like that, just for not speaking. So you already know he petty, allegedly.
Included highly anticipated testimony today. Rapper Megan Thee Stallion arrived at a Los Angeles courthouse this morning where she testified about what she says happened on the night of July 12th, 2020. Performer Tory Lanez is accused of shooting her after a night out, but his attorney claims that he's innocent and that this is all just a case of jealousy. ABC's Zareen Shah was in the courtroom today. Zareen, what did Megan say happened that night?
Lindsay, it wasn't just what she said happened, it's how she said it. She was really emotional in court today. She said this story is not just about a shooting. This story is about who I had sex with. You remember yesterday, the defense, they were really pitting her against her friend, talking about the fact that they shared intimate partners, multiple intimate partners. She said in court today, I had just done a song with Beyonce. I did something of my dreams and I was shot at. And she said,
okay. I like Meg. I love Meg. But I'm getting victim vibes.
they're calling this the Megan.
I really feel sorry for her though, because it's like she don't have nobody real in her corner. Like neither one of her parents are alive. Her grandparents are not alive, so she really like out here. I get it. But it's the victim of me.
Stallion trial, I am not on trial. I wish he would have killed me. If I knew I would have to go through this torture, I wish he would have killed me. She did say a lot that was very, very important, aside from just some of the really emotional things that she said. She dropped some bombshell. She says that Tory offered her $1 million to keep quiet. That he said, please don't say anything. And that he told her, I was already caught with a gun. I'm on probation. She says he was not worried about her at all.
Wow, really dramatic testimony there. And what did Tory's attorney tell you?
And I can believe it, because he give that. He get that energy all day long.
That their goal was for the cross-examination today.
You know what, I asked him right before lunch. I said, so what's your goal? What do you hope to accomplish today? He said, we're going to show how she lies. And you could certainly tell sitting in that courtroom that was their goal. The defense attorney said, you lied on national TV. Megan said, yes. He said, you lied to Detective Stockman. She said, yes. He said, you lied about having an intimate relationship with Tory. She said, yes. Look, we know that she has not been truthful about her intimate relationship with Tory. She now says that they did have an intimate relationship. And then the defense attorney pressed her on some really...
It's coming out because you're on that stand. You don't want to perjure yourself. So that's what I'm saying.
Granular details. And there were some moments where she said, I don't remember. I could have. Maybe.
And that's possible if you're inebriated, and she likes to get inebriated, allegedly.
You could tell that he was really trying to poke holes in her story that she gave to her lawyers. He also said yesterday, Lindsay, and this was one of the most interesting things that I think he said yesterday. He said there was a witness who saw a female with a gun. It's a really important detail. And then my producer, Abby, saw the lawyer today, and she said, can you clarify this? What do you mean about with a gun? And I pressed him upstairs about this as well. And he says, I said, do you mean holding a gun? And he said, no, with a gun. He basically meant in the vicinity of a gun, near a gun. Mind you, this is not something that the jurors know. They are still remembering what he said yesterday, that a witness saw a female with a gun. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly what happens with that detail, if that's clarified for the jurors.
Such a steamy case. You actually have steam rising all around you, Zareen Shah.
Right. I haven't even on day one it came out that she her and Kelsey and Megan was having a fight. And then a gun went off, but I don't know how, like what happened in between that. But Meg was standing up at the window, so she was outside the car. From what they once said, she was standing outside the car. Now I don't know if I believe the dance B part. I'm like, oh, poor Megan, y'all ain't. Black women, I feel her now. Black women are so unprotected. No matter what they do, they always the villain. That's crazy. What she want is money.
Our thanks to you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube.
Let's see. See if I can find some more day two. Matter of fact, let me watch it. Because we all remember the scene. The link is pinned, Don. You're not going to use it. Stop. You know what? I ain't had like no more of your comments. Damn, Charles.
Today in the trial of the rapper accused of shooting Megan Thee Stallion. Let's check in with the desk.
CBS 2 assignment manager Mark Liu joins us live. What's going on, Mark?
Hey, Kristen Marcy. Yeah, so here at the desk, we've been following this trial since it began earlier this month. It's about Canadian rapper Tory Lanez, seen here, whose real name is Daystar Peterson. Now, he's accused of shooting.
I'm sorry. I just do not like cocky people. Cocky people just... It seems like they be setting themselves up for failure.
Shooting another rapper, Megan Thee Stallion, in the foot back in July of 2020, and now she is expected to take the stand today. Megan Thee Stallion.
That's a good one. We can talk about that later. But to answer your question, no.
Here, whose real name is Megan Pete, says she was in a car with Lanez leaving a house party in 2020 when they got into a fight. She demanded to be let out of the car, and that's when Lanez allegedly fired 5 shots at her. She was hit in the feet, taken to the hospital, and the aftermath of this whole incident was caught on video, as you can see there. Lanez was arrested by police and charged with 3 felony counts, including a...
When they was sitting there on that curb, Kelsey asked her, "Are you okay, Meg? Are you okay?" I don't know what it means, but she cared. Give me 1 minute, y'all. Y'all talk amongst yourself. I have to make a run to the bathroom. My bad, Joe. My bad. I'm back.
Assault with a firearm, and if convicted, could face a maximum of 22 years in state prison. Now, Megan Thee Stallion is expected to testify that it was Tory Lanez that shot her that night. Lanez attorneys say they will dispute that account and say this is a case about jealousy. That is the very latest from the desk. Chris and Marcy, back to you.
That's how he been trying to play it the whole time. I think she testified in court today. Let's see if we can find out something.
Megan. Sporting a bright purple pantsuit, rapper Megan Thee Stallion appeared calm and composed as she arrived to testify in a downtown LA courtroom. Once she took the stand, her demeanor changed as she described the fear and shock she felt on July 12, 2020, when fellow rapper Tory Lanez allegedly used a semi-automatic gun to shoot her after leaving a party at Kylie Jenner's house. Cameras were not allowed inside the packed courtroom, where Megan, also known as Megan Pete, addressed the jury for the first time. She accused Lanez, whose real name is Daystar Peterson, of ordering her to dance before firing several rounds, hitting her feet.
Now, in my opinion, I think she did a little too much with the dance. But who knows? Because I see when Tory get under the act, he get under the act.
Z obtained this cell phone video taken after the alleged shooting, showing a limping Megan being ordered out of her SUV by police. She says at the time she told them she had stepped on glass, afraid of getting Lanez in trouble. On Tuesday, she testified that Lanez offered her $1 million to keep quiet about the alleged shooting, an allegation Lanez's attorney has staunchly denied.
Yo, chill, he's got the baby. Chill out, everybody back up.
Lanez arrived at the courthouse with his young son, according to his team, ready to clear his name.
He's been waiting for this for 2.5 years. He wants the people to know the truth. You know, we've been awfully quiet, and we've heard Megan go on Gayle King and go on all these media outlets and to give different versions of what's taking place. Now, you know, the public gets to know exactly.
That's because Corey couldn't talk. Don't act like he didn't talk because he didn't want to talk. He couldn't talk. Every time he said "meh," he was going to jail.
Exactly what happened that day. And that's what our goal is.
Stand with Megan! Stand with Megan!
I know he ain't trying to get sympathy by bringing his son to court with him. That's the messed up part, is that his child is an American native and he not. So if he get deported.
Outside, supporters of both artists gathered to show their support.
Seeing all these people out, they stand for something, and clearly they stand for solidarity, respect, and just human equality, just being treated right like a human, being able to just voice your opinion. I feel like we all want that, so why not fight for it and show that?
Lanez now facing several charges, including assault with a semi-automatic firearm.
I don't believe him at all.
Reporting from downtown Los Angeles, I'm Chelsea Edwards, Fox 11 News.
And I want to bring in ABC News legal contributor and host of the Law and Crime Network, Brian Buckmeyer, who we just saw, joining me live now for a little bit more on this. Brian, thanks for being on. You know, in opening statements, the prosecution argued that this started as an argument between Megan and Tory. The defense says this was actually all about jealousy between Megan and Kelsey Harris. What stands out to you about these central arguments and how they might play out in this case?
Well, Diane, it was two things. First, how lean the prosecution's opening.
Tory's such a narcissist. He trying to paint Megan as a liar and Tory as the person who actually did it. And ain't nobody seeing that. And both of them had gunpowder on their hand. In my opinion, I think they was wrestling over that gun. So why all this stuff coming out there showing Tory looking more guilty and guilty every day?
was they didn't incorporate a lot of the things the defense got to kind of lay into them as kind of bombshell revelations, that there was a relationship between Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion, as well as Kelsey Harris, and that there's more to look at here. I think that was a misstep by the prosecution. They don't want to be perceived as hiding something from the jury, but what really stuck out were the facts that the defense laid out. We all thought, or sorry, I'll count myself and maybe many others, that this was a pretty clear-cut, someone shot Megan Thee Stallion or shot at her, and there was not much drama behind who had done it or what had happened, but the defense laid out many factors. The argument beforehand at Kylie Jenner's house.
Well, let me see. Kelsey was in the back seat. They say they say Kelsey was in the front seat, though. She just came from the back. Kelsey just came from the back seat. So I'm trying to see where this fight started at. It's supposed to be a fight. I guess Megan was standing outside the car while Kelsey was inside the car. I'm just in my vision because this is supposed to be a fight. They're supposed to have a fight. This page, the other page, not monetized yet, but I got some stuff in store for this one. So go ahead and get your membership. I tried to call you today to need some eddies. Now down the street from her house. She put them out though. See, a lot of this stuff is coming out now. She put them out because Megan was getting aggressive because Tory was flirting with her. So when they get in the car, Tory gets to telling Chelsea, whatever her name is, he don't know why she keep taking up for her when she had sex with Ben Simmons and the baby who Chelsea had also had sex with. And so Meg and Chelsea ended up fighting, and we still trying to figure out how that blicky got set off. I think it's possible they was fighting over the gun, and it probably like the bullet, but no, because they said 5 rounds, so that's intentional. That's overkill right there. 5. So I can't even say what I was thinking. Like maybe it went off by mistake because somebody like literally shot 5 rounds.
The potential of a witness saying that a woman had a gun. There were a lot of bombshells there that are going to be explained by both sides throughout the trial.
Now, after all of this buildup in the public sphere, Megan is now expected to take the stand in court today. So what are you listening for as she testifies under oath?
Direct examination is easy. It's easy for someone to work through someone telling their own story and laying it out in a pristine way. I'm looking for the cross-examination. Megan Thee Stallion came out a number of times in the interview that we saw just moments ago, as well as through her music, defending her position and arguing that she was a victim here. That lays a lot of groundwork for the defense to cross-examine her and try to find inconsistencies, namely that she's always
He just tripped because they tricked her into naming herself a stallion.
Said that Tory Lanez and her never had a romantic or sexual relationship.
Just like they tricked old boy into naming himself the Pied Piper. Ooh. Right. Right. That ain't even the real Meg.
Relationship.
The real
I think
Meg
the
woman.
defense is going to try to start planting seeds that small inconsistencies or lies can lead to larger ones. It's going to be interesting to see how she pushes back and how the prosecution rehabilitates her and how she ends up after the direct and cross-examination.
And Brian, Kelsey Harris, who was there that night, she will also testify. Megan has said previously that she felt that Kelsey sided with Tory. Is that how she's expected to testify, and how valuable will her testimony be?
Well, Kelsey's testimony is going to be valuable to anyone who can kind of co-opt her to their side, because the prosecution is saying that she is their star witness. She is the one that observed Tory Lanez shoot Megan Thee Stallion's feet,
but also the bodyguard was in the car too. She's to my 5'7".
The defense is painting her as
I
the
think
shooter.
Cardi a little bit taller than her, ain't
And how are you going to do that on cross-examination, trying to get someone to say, yeah, you know what, for the last 2+ years, it was actually me. I was lying the entire time. What I'm looking at is how this witness gets pulled to either the prosecution to say, hey, this is what the prosecution said she was going to testify to during their opening.
Make that make sense, Rob? Before their time. How can you go before your time when you come in this world it's set in stone? For one. That's a shame. Nice family.
Statements, or the defense trying to trip her up or interject other facts and say, hey, maybe you're lying here.
An interesting case to watch, that's for sure. Brian Buckmeyer, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe.
You just sound crazy, Rob. That's all. You just sound crazy. I pay attention to a lot of stuff, but I don't believe everything I hear. You feel me? That makes sense. And shout out to the ABC News for that. Okay, they on day 3 today.
We're going to go a little bit north and a little bit west of Los Angeles, California, where Canadian rapper Tory Lanez is standing trial for allegedly shooting fellow rapper Megan Thee Stallion. The shooting happened in the summer of 2020 after rapper Megan Thee Stallion and
Rob, he almost called her ragging. So is that her real name? His real name? In my opinion, I don't know. But it ain't looking good for him. It really ain't. Because a lot of stuff is coming out. You got to think about it, how he keep on getting in trouble. Like even compared to this case in the Tory in the August Alsina thing, even though August didn't press charges or nothing. It's like a pattern. Like you get mad because you don't get things your way. You have a temper tantrum and you want to go react because you got the short man syndrome. He went and jumped on that boy, allegedly. So why wouldn't he shoot her? She taller than him. She probably stole. Hey, I'm just saying. Marcus is. I don't know. He crazy.
And Tory Lanez, sorry, names I'm not familiar with, attended a party at Kyle Jenner's home, Kylie Jenner's home.
Oh, he just messing up everybody name. He probably did say Marcus the Stat. I guess he say, well, it's a guy, it's a male horse, so it has to be Marcus.
And Lance denied the shooting, not guilty to 3 charges of felony charges stemming from the shooting. The prosecution.
Well, I can't say for a fact, allegedly she is getting immunity, but you got to think about it. The whole time, Tory kind of painted a narrative that Megan lied and Kelsey did it, but he's taking up for her. He been painting that narrative the whole time, and ain't nobody even really been paying attention because Kelsey ain't said nothing. Kelsey's still salty because Megan running up behind everybody she done hit. You got to look at it like that. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about who popped at her. Yeah, they granted her the immunity and she pleaded the fifth. Yep. Because Tory's team is trying to make her look like she the one who did it. Remember, at first they were saying she was the only one with gun residue on her fingers and stuff. They both did, which sound like a struggle over it to me. That's just in my opinion.
Prosecution says Tory Lanez fired multiple shots, striking Megan in both feet after claiming Lanez was set off after Megan insulted his skills as a rap artist. Meanwhile, defense claims that Megan's former friend,
that don't mean it's gonna work,
Kelsey Harris, was the one that fired the gun. Megan Thee Stallion is slated to testify in the assault trial today, but our very own law and crime senior reporter Megan Craniff is there in California courtroom. Megan, I botched that up. Names, this, that, and the other. That's what happens when you don't know who these folks are. But apparently, lots of people in the world do. So, Megan, why don't you take it as?
But it was a medical report though. We neither one of us was there. All we could do, we've been waiting 11 years for this day to come, and stuff that we hadn't heard before is starting to come out. So I'm just taking it all in because I'm tired of this story, to be honest. I just want to get it over with. I'm tired, and I wish they would leave us alone, both of them. And then the baby, just leave us alone. Let's just find out what happened. Get over it. Everybody do what they got to do, just because I'm tired of them. They always messing with us.
What is happening in this?
Oh, absolutely. This is a very, very big deal in the hip-hop world. I don't know if you can call it the trial of the century, because I think there's been a lot of big trials in the hip-hop world, but this is a very big one. And I was struck yesterday in opening statements. I mean, it was an interesting trial. The attorneys are good, and I was into it, but I definitely got the impression that everyone around me was just gripped by it. Everything is so important. Everything that's said, every word, every piece of evidence that comes.
She doing too much. But again, we ain't really heard no facts since it started. So, and that's on all parties, all three of them, all four of them actually, because it was a bodyguard there too. We ain't heard no facts, because if we heard facts, we would hear one story.
Comes up is a huge deal to the people who have been covering this saga for the last 2 years. So it was a packed courtroom
Only
yesterday,
two?
and things were near pandemonium this morning as people were waiting for Megan to get in. She had a lot of fans. They had a big banner that said, "We stand with Megan," and they were out just trying to show her some support as she came in to get ready for her testimony today.
So Megan, kind of, I don't know why, as you were describing this, and again, it's not a case I've been following, but does it have the kind of overtones of the Johnny Depp, Amber Heard kind of celebrity? You know, both sides, people are going on both sides, advocating for one or the other here.
I think the defense is trying to make it out to be that way, but as somebody who just walked into the courtroom and sat down, it seems like a pretty easy case for the prosecutors. Lanez didn't actually mention a shooting or a gun in his apologetic call or his text, but if you just...
Yeah, then he called from the jail apologizing to Kelsey. What he apologizing to? See, this is a play. Tory making a play for real. That's what I'm thinking, in my opinion. Of course, y'all gonna ride for your boy, but you got to listen to the facts here. He trying to paint Megan as a liar and Kelsey as the one who did it. So you ain't did nothing, Tory. Just like you didn't hit that damn man outside when we heard the audio talk when y'all was arguing right before you stole on him. Like,
listen to the call. I think it's going to be easy for the jury to conclude that that's what he was talking about. It's going to depend on how the evidence comes in. I think Megan is obviously a huge witness and her testimony is critical, but I think the biggest witness is going to be Kelsey Harris, who's her, I think, former friend.
I 100% agree. And listening to this, I know they be famed because of what happened that night. It's because of what happened that night, what she found out that night.
There's a debate on whether they're still friends. Lanez's attorney says they haven't spoken since the incident.
Unless they run in a play.
His defense is that Kelsey is actually the shooter here. So his case could easily fall apart in his exam of Kelsey, or it could come all together in his exam of Kelsey.
No, you may know this or you may not, but I'm always interested in this question about what is he facing if he's convicted, and were there any plea offers prior to this, or did he just go straight to trial?
I'm not sure if there were any any plea deals offered. I think just judging by the case and just the way the DA's office worked, I think there would have been something offered to him. But his stance on this the whole time has been that he's innocent and he's looking forward to trial. So he faces some pretty serious consequences if convicted. The most serious charge is the assault charge that could get him, I think it's 22 years and 8 months in prison. And then being Canadian, he also could be deported based on the conviction. So the stakes are really high here.
Yeah, and we always love to ask.
So he make the play and bring his child to the doggone courtroom.
I mean, there's so many things that go on inside these courtrooms. What is it like in terms of the judging and the lawyering? Is it extremely contentious, matter of fact? Give me an idea of the flavor of what the...
Yeah, I heard that too. I took 100% agree, Nugarachi. And I heard they fought, but the thing is, both of them had gun residue, powder on their hands, so we can't really say that Meg was lying. In my opinion, I think she don't know who did it. I think she would think that what you call it would do it. Oh, hold on. Tory got this stick in there, brother. Y'all know y'all be sticking for y'all brothers, whether they right or wrong. Well, he been acting a butt hole, like little kids around here. He running amok over here. He ain't from here. He's hitting women and shooting at women and men or whatever. He doing too much. He ain't from here. He was a good guy. You funny as hell. He was a good guy. Oh, wow. Wow. Okay.
Attitude is in the courtroom.
They seem to get along somewhat. I saw some cordiality between them. I mean, I think it's a typical adversary system. I was impressed by the skill of the prosecutor. He's a couple years younger than the prosecutors in the Harvey Weinstein trial, but I thought he gave a great opening, just his performance and his form. The questioning of the witnesses wasn't very difficult, but it seemed to go well for him. And Lane's lawyer has a good courtroom presence too. He definitely kind of embraces the role as the defense attorney for, rappers accused of assault. Or I covered another case he did where he represented a corrupt Homeland Security agent who got sentenced to 10 years for bribery. So he kind of plays the casting call role of the criminal defense attorney for these guys pretty well. So it's an interesting scene in there for sure.
Okay, so
I was on mute. I said, "What up, Doogie?" I said, "I bet you think he innocent too, huh?" You stupid.
You listen to the prosecutor's opening and the defense's opening, watching some of that testimony coming in. Right now, if you had to evaluate the case, and we're not holding you to it because we know it's not a fair question, but Who's in the lead right now in your mind, given that the prosecution has to prove its case to all jurors beyond a reasonable doubt?
I think right now, given the phone call and the text messages and
Okay, well, there you go with the realities of it. So let me just really, yeah. Hey, Megan, we're having some problems with your audio. I appreciate it. I think we got most of that. Yeah, so thank you very much. Keep up the great work out there. Maybe we'll get back to you a little bit later on. With that, let me just bring in the guests real quick. Marie, what do you think about the case? Thoughts about it and the manner in which it's progressing, if you have any knowledge of it.
I know, right, Doogie? For real, are y'all good though? I gotta look into that. I be up on the weather when the weather. They playing with the machines again, Rob. I'll give you that one. Yeah, because I heard y'all had one yesterday, right? New Orleans don't need nothing else happening out there because they already sinking. That's sad. Yeah, it do. But I don't think hurricanes are the worst.
I don't have extensive knowledge, but the first thing that comes to mind is if she was shot with a gun, how did they assess her injuries? I'm also a registered nurse. I think if she's saying at first she got cut with glass because she didn't want to report him, how do you confuse getting cut with glass with getting shot in the foot with actual bullets from a gun? I would need to hear some medicals, and it would be more than a he say, she say, because gunshot and glass are two different things. I think there's a lot more we need to see before we can give an opinion on this.
Judge, I'm curious about your thoughts, and if you haven't been following the case, because I know that you guys weren't prepped on this particular topic that you'd be discussing about it. I'm also interested if you have just a general opinion. I always love to know what the plea offers are on these cases, because that is a critical.
I bet. Yeah. I agree with her. I agree with her, Nick Rachi. But it's too many inconsistencies in all of their stories. Chelsea ain't said nothing, but she ain't do it. And Tory's story ain't stayed consistent either. So you can't really say it's just her story. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Rob. Yep. We know that. People think that. Yep. I agree with you there.
Point where the defense has to make a decision. Do you take the lesser plea and have guaranteed what the sentence is? You do it and move on with your life? Or do you make that strategic decision that if you go to trial, which typically you don't get the benefit of a favorable plea offer, could lead to a lot more time? I'm sure you've experienced this as a judge. What are your thoughts?
No, but she made a good point, because y'all know what we go through being melanated people. That could have went wrong for her and everybody else. She could have had to witness something happen to that man. So I do agree with what she said when her reasoning for not saying it. Now, that's what she messed up at. Because now everybody think it's glass, which it could have been. It could have been a shot. You know what I'm saying? They could have fired it through the glass. But yeah, I don't know. She messed herself with that one up. That messed up. But I can see why she said it. I really, as a woman, I could. As a melanated person, y'all should be able to understand why she said that. For real. Little or nothing, you could be outside standing selling cigarettes. So y'all think no. I understand what she said there.
Well, I tell you, first of all, there's nothing at all like the cases where multimillionaires are, hostile and fighting each other and shooting at each other. I mean, we love to see those stories. They burn up the news hours. What I think about the case is, sure, it should be assessed like any other criminal case where a defendant is accused of shooting at another victim. it's very difficult for us as a society to separate the celebrity of those involved. And you know, this was supposed to be after a party at Kylie Jenner's house. So the potential parade of folks who we follow on Twitter and Instagram and who we
That's how I feel, Nigarachi. That's how I feel. And I feel like she wouldn't think her friend would do it. Between those two, they know who did it. It could have been both of them. But that's exactly how I feel. And that's the messed up part about it, because you think your friend didn't do it. So you like, F that, he did it. He had to have done it. You know what I'm saying? And she got paid off for not telling. So I'm mad at her. But she already mad at you because you keep going behind her backwash. Come on now.
read about on news blogs is going to be more enveloping than, unfortunately, to the jury a lot of times than the actual facts itself. What I think about this is that the concentration will be hard to keep, but ultimately we should be approaching this the same as we do every other criminal case that comes on our dockets.
Yeah, that is such a great point. To Marie's point, I tell you, one of the funniest anecdotes I've ever had in a courtroom was when a defendant was telling the judge that he shot the guy with a .45, and the victim stood up in the courtroom and said, "That."
My bad. She said, but from what they said in day one, yeah. Yeah, Brenda. From what they said from day one, she was actually fighting Kelsey outside the car. So she was outside the car. That's why I said the trial is bringing on some interesting information.
Felt like a 22, and the defendant looks at him and says, "No, man, it was a 45." So, you know, there's always some level of entertainment that goes on. Thank God nobody got killed in that particular case. And on that note, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Rob Hush. Yeah, I want this girl to be lying so bad. Shout out to Patsy Blog.
Into it, and in case you missed it, here's an update from the Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion trial. In verbatim, it says, Megan Thee Stallion said she'd rather be gone than to deal with the stress of reliving the horrific blasting during Tory Lanez trial. During the second half of her testimony on Tuesday, December 13, the Houston rapper swelled with tears as she described the impact that blasting had had on her life over the past 2 years. At one point during the cross-examination, she explained how uncomfortable she was while simply sitting across from him in the courtroom. Meg even told the court that she wished Lanez.
I don't think it's thinking she was street. I think it's thinking that they might have unalived all of them because of the color of their skin. That don't make sense to you? Well, what's going on? You can't see why a person would say that or think that, knowing that it was a loaded weapon around and the popo telling her to get out and walk backwards and telling them to lay on the ground and stuff. Y'all know doggone well that could have went a whole different way. Don't try to not give her props for thinking that way. She might did think that way.
Had just offed her instead. I wish she would have just offed me rather than have to go through this torture. She continued her testimony by asserting that she only saw Lanez with the GUN and not Kelsey like the defense had previously implied. The rapper described a dramatic scene in the SUV where an argument erupted after Lanez told Harris that Meg slept with him. Megan admitted to lying about their actual history.
Yeah, she probably would, but that wasn't who she was fighting. She was fighting Chelsea. And I feel like it was a struggle over that blicky. That, in my opinion. Because both of them had residue on their hand for some reason. So both of them had their hand on it. Not to mention, it wasn't even just one shot. It was 4 to 5. So that was like intentional at that point.
But claimed that they were non-exclusive. At that point, she asked to be out of the car on Sunset Boulevard. However, since she was only wearing a thong bikini, Megan feared that she would be spotted due to her rising celebrity status. When she got back into the SUV, Meg said Lanez and Harris were shouting at the top of their lungs. She wanted to get out as soon as the vehicle got close to her LA home. That's when she insulted his career, which she said truly set him off. Tory was basically telling me,
now tell me, from what just happened with him in August, I was saying that y'all don't believe that she insulted his career and he got mad. Because that's a pattern to me. But who was trying to get it off, though? That's the thing.
I wasn't ish, and I said, actually, you ain't ish. This is where you at in your career. This is where you at with your music. And I feel like that really rubbed him the wrong way. He kept yelling and cursing, Meg explained. I start walking away from the car, and I can hear Tory say, dance, B. I don't have to turn all the way around. I didn't have to use my feet to turn around. She continued while showing the jury how she turned her head without moving her entire body. I literally turned like this and I could see him with the GUN. After she froze, Megan said she saw Lanez pointing the GUN at her and heard the shots go off. She said she dropped to the ground and crawled to a nearby driveway. Once she saw blood coming from her feet, Meg heard Harris and Lanez screaming. The rapper claimed everything got blurry from there, but she was still able to hear Lanez apologizing for the incident. She also heard
First of all, when the police had them sitting on the curb, Chelsea asked her, "Are you okay, Megan? Are you okay?" Why she asked her that? That's all y'all thinking about is music. That's what it be about with y'all, with these people. It be music. It got to be, because y'all just don't know how to separate the two. Tory Lanez been acting a-hole for a minute now. No pun, little fizz. Yeah, I don't think it was like really serious, because they did the WAP video like 3 days later. But they pulled some fragments out. So in her eyes, that is getting popped in the foot. He showed, you know what I'm saying? And she told him his career, he already got the little man syndrome. Then you tell him your career ain't nothing. Which I mean, he got about 2 good songs. He alright, but come on now. Okay.
heard him offer $1 million to stay silent about it. Wow, not him offering hush money. That's crazy. Allegedly. The blasting was traumatic enough, but the aftermath is what's been truly affecting her. Meg said that speaking out about the incident has essentially put a target on her back in the male-dominated music industry. Because I was shot, I've been turned into some kind of villain, and he's the victim. This has messed up my whole life. Now let's.
That's true. I mean, one thing about it, she did get injured. But another thing about it, people did prosecute her before they even know what's really going on. We've been waiting on this trial for years. That don't make no sense that it took that long to even get to this point, to even find out things that we hadn't heard yet.
Let's go on over to her ex-friend Kelsey. Kelsey Nicole Harris, Meg Thee Stallion's ex-friend, has been granted immunity after asking for it during the opening of her testimony, according to reports. Kelsey Harris' testimony at Tory Lanez trial began with her showing up with an attorney and asking for immunity. It was granted even after the DA swore they had no intent to prosecute.
I told you I 100% agree, and I look at it like she looked at it like, I know my friend wouldn't do it. And then her friend looking at it like you done went behind every dude I done went behind. So they beef a little different. You know what I'm saying? We thinking they beefing because they don't want to tell who did what. But they beef is a little different. Because, they supposedly had been best friends. If that makes sense. Tory just manipulating the whole situation because, like y'all said, only person know who did it is Tory and Chelsea. And it could have been both of them. They both had powder on their hand, and it was 45 rounds. I guess it was a revolver. I don't know what kind of gun it was, but it was weird.
Her. He added that Kelsey spent a little less than 40 minutes on.
She had made that WAP video about the next week. But that didn't mean her foot didn't hurt. She still got them. That's how she make her money. Y'all don't understand. In this industry, they would give you some small shoes and make you do a runway walk. They don't care. It's not about if it can fit or not. It's about you looking good in it, so you can so they can sell it.
On a stand, saying a lot of her memory of the party was blurry because of alcohol consumption. She accused Megan of lying about her and called.
I agree. But when ain't nobody saying nothing, I think she got aggravated when nobody said nothing because she didn't know who did it. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. Because remember how she came out like, he did it. You know what I'm saying? I know in her head, I know my friend didn't do it, in my opinion.
Accusations that she shot Megan ridiculous. By definition, since Harris is given immunity, she is granted an exemption that displaces the privilege against self-incrimination. Neither compelled testimony nor any fruits of.
That still don't mean her feet didn't hurt Nicarachi. She still got to make her money. She still had engagements. Tupac was at the court the day after he got a pistol whip and shot himself, allegedly.
Of it can be used against the witness who, therefore, can no longer fear self-incrimination. Kelsey pleads the fifth when asked if Tory Lanez threatened to shoot her. According to the coverage, Kelsey Nicole also testifies that Megan Thee Stallion was acting out and drunk at party before the blasting incident during her afternoon testimony. She generally painted Megan as drunk and acting out at the party before the fight in the SUV that predated the shooting. But the key moment came when the DDA, Kathy Ta, asked if Lanez had threatened to shoot Kelsey, and Kelsey took the fifth. That's crazy. But what are y'all thinking? We really want to know, so leave your thoughts below, and don't forget to.
They playing in their face. That's what they doing. It's self-explanatory. They probably, I don't know, by being more than one round, that's a little tricky. But Tory team trying to make it seem like it's her. Like somebody said earlier, it could be for the payola. She with it. You know what I'm saying? Well, who cares, bro? Right now it's content. She was limping. Y'all got to stop being so one-sided all the doggone time. Like if you right, you right. You wrong, you wrong. How could this man keep on getting in trouble for doing stuff and y'all steady saying this lady is wrong? This lady is wrong for doing all that to her best friend. She's not wrong for not knowing who did it, but just blame it on somebody because she wrong for blaming it on somebody that she didn't know who if they did it or not. But what I'm saying is y'all have to think of the mind state. Like she probably think I know she didn't do it because that's my best friend. I don't think she was necessarily shot. I think it was shrapnel. That's still bullet fragments. She was inebriated. They were all inebriated. Y'all do remember that, right? No, but it's a pattern. That's why I brought up all his other cases. It's a pattern. He got mad because August Alsina didn't speak to him, and he went out there and jumped that boy. Come on now, y'all. See, y'all be take. Ooh, child. But that she don't know who did it. Sis. Yeah, they like is it. I notice when it's all when it they don't never like they say melanated women are not taken up for like we just ain't nothing. Right. Cause he definitely already tried to paint a picture. He knew he was painting a picture when he didn't say nothing at all. Or in the messages that from calling from jail, calling Kelsey, telling her he's sorry, but not really saying what he's sorry for. Come on now. This man is a narcissist. He manipulative, and he think he gonna get off. That's why he playing it the way he playing it. And Kelsey's still bitter. They both are. Her and Megan are. The fresh police. What the hell? So you supposed to fight the doggone man because he didn't speak. He was speaking on his business. Why would you? Okay, so you get into this little entanglement, right? And he make a joke online, speaking on this man business, talking about if it was me, I wouldn't have told. Of course, you already in your feelings to have even put that out there in open out the way you did. Then you got people making a joke of you. So would you would have spoke to him? Y'all don't think they right. I ain't heard y'all. I ain't seen a case I heard that a melanated man has thought a melanated woman was right. And that's for real. I haven't. You stupid. You steady saying that. He did not. He got slapped because he was talking too much. He's making fun of her. Right. He done got started on that juice. He's sipping on that scissor or something. Oh, y'all is a mess. It sound like a bunch of testosterone out there. Y'all crazy. I thought you was getting your membership, Juice. Y'all funny. Right. She was definitely granted immunity. So she gets granted immunity and pleads the fifth. She playing in their face. They all playing in each other's face. And this girl trying to figure out who popped me. That's all that is. Mm. Hold on. Here go another one. Shout out to Yam Stancy. This is something he got from the Shade Room.
Enough. The prosecution said that Kelsey was their star witness. That was their main witness.
Right.
Outside of Meg, they was leaning on Kelsey. Now Kelsey has thrown a monkey wrench in the whole entire thing. I told y'all, I'm telling y'all, Kelsey is looking for a hung jury, or it's just being dismissed, or him just being found not guilty. Kelsey is trying to get him back in blood on Meg because of this loyalty that she feels that Meg portrayed to her. Now, can you guys please stop coming in my comments asking what's the relevance of Megan's sexual?
Thank you, Juice. Welcome to the membership. Yeah, they definitely playing in our face. All of them, all three of them. But I still think Meg the most confused out of all of them because I really don't think she know who did it.
History. Stop it. Stop it. If you don't want to understand what's going on right now, you are bullheaded and you need to go get yourself checked out. It's perfectly clear that who Megan decided to lay with caused this argument to happen, and it caused.
And then Tory, they was inebriated. Tory, they got kicked out of Kylie Jenner kicked them out of her party. Tory, I guess he got salty about it or something. In my opinion, for him to go and say, "Why you keep taking up for Megan? She had sex with Ben Simmons. She had sex with me. She had sex with the baby. All people that she knew that he had that." You know what I'm saying? Tory instigated a lot of this too. Y'all giving that man too much credit.
Everything to spark off that night. Stop being dense. Understand, it has all the sense to do with this case. Nobody's trying to slut shame Meg. This is the main reason why we're here. So that's what's going on right here. Now we have Lawrence for Worker. He's going to break down every single thing that he's seen from his perspective inside that courtroom. All right. Check him out. Check him out. And then we're going to sign out this video because I'm going to be getting some more information to give to you guys. This is insane, man. Let me know what y'all thinking. Like Megan Thee Stallion fans, if y'all in here, let me know what y'all thinking. If you a true
this girl done went ahead a baby and everything. She like, I'm not going to jail. Yeah, this crazy. I really do. To be honest, I really do want to know who pulled the trigger.
Megan Thee Stallion fan, but these things are changing your perspective as far as what really happened. Let me know. Do you guys think Kelsey's lying or being paid? Let me know what y'all think. Tory fans, let me know what y'all think. Or people that just want the truth.
And that could be a play. Her not saying nothing, pleading the fifth. She could have got paid off.
Just want the truth, let me know in the comment section below that you're not a fan of nobody in particular. You just want to know the truth, because the truth should always be held in high regards, no matter what you feel or what type of connection you have to anyone. The truth should remain the most important.
What are you talking about, Rob? I will speak for y'all.
Thing in all these situations right here. Let's see what Lloyd's Voice got to say. It's your boy Stacy. I'm out.
And it gets crazier. We are on a 15-minute break. Got to get back into the courtroom very quickly. I sat at 12 o'clock directly in Kelsey's line of vision. I watched her testify. I watched her deny that Tory threatened to shoot her. I watched her confess that she lied to the police when she said that. The reason why she was lying to the police, the investigators, is because she wanted to protect herself. OMG. The rest of the testimony that we just saw in the after lunch session was a prosecutor holding on for dear life to a recording between her, a police investigator, and another LA County prosecutor, and Kelsey, and just replaying that recording and saying, Kelsey, didn't you say this? And Kelsey saying, I did. Kelsey, is that true? And Kelsey saying, no, I lied. Did the LA County...
Yeah, they playing in each other's face right now. I feel like they all three are playing in each other's face.
prosecutors give Kelsey immunity? I think so. They did, didn't they? That's what I reported this morning. That's what I saw in this courtroom. Does Kelsey sound like a believable witness? No. Is Tory Lanez accusing her of being the shooter? Yes. I'll tell you something. That jury, most of them, it looked like they had their mind made up. I don't know which way, but they saw that person say that I lied about all that to protect myself. They're going to hear that there was gunshot residue on her.
And none of this change y'all mind as to it's possible that Tory could have did it. None of it. He said gang gang. Yeah, he was a very bad decision. Because he's a damn loose cannon. Tell me you don't think he's a loose cannon. I mean, I know y'all like his little music. Don't say that after I say what I say and then it come back up again. Nope. Hey, bestie. Nope. Sure don't. He could do a flip under air mat, not an air mattress. She don't know who shot her. That's what I think it is. So let me see. They said they had a wild day 3. Cause this trick done pleaded the damn fifth after she got immunity. Ain't that crazy? They playing in each other's face. Oh Lord. He ain't no loose cannon. He ain't no loose cannon. Oh, yeah, because you hit somebody because they didn't speak to you too. Very much loose cannon. But that's just my opinion.
Oh my gosh. The Meg the Stallion versus basically the state versus Tory Lanez is just blown up. The case is going completely haywire. It starts with the witness Kelsey. Kelsey gets on the stand today, asked for a full immunity, and it was granted. That means under most laws, most state laws, that
It's trick them. Ask for immunity and then tell them nothing. Yeah, that's why that's a good title. Wild Day 3.
at that point, the witness must get on the stand and answer questions asked. They can no longer plead the fifth on any criminal activity. So when you get on the stand and they ask you a specific question,
we quick to job the melanated brother. Oh, you're leaving me now? Did you not see the replay? Did you not hear the tape? He said, what's the problem? He said, why is you speaking on my business? Yeah, I actually think he fought him because he didn't speak to him. Rob, go to sleep.
If it will lead to a criminal indictment, you must plead the fifth. However, if you plead and ask for a full immunity, it means that you must answer.
No, I'm not. We a sister take up for a melanated brother before they will a melanated woman. Every time something happened to a woman, it's always their fault. Every time. Two women right here, but it's all the person who actually got injured fault. That's crazy to me.
That damn question. And Kelsey is not answering that question, leaving a lot of doubts. I'm sure the jury is wondering what is what, but I do know something. Meg, the victim, has been shot. If they have given immunity to this person and then Kelsey takes the rap for Tory, and by the way, Tory has been alleged to have tried to buy these women off, whether it's Meg or Kelsey. If Kelsey has taken that money and is now going to take the rap for this, that means he can walk free and she may not be prosecuted because she's given full immunity. Now, that full immunity can go.
You weird, Juice. You weird. you alright, but you weird. Somebody, that's why he finna get him off. That's what needs to happen. Nobody needs to serve any type of punishment for the things that they do to other people. And it's like, I don't understand I don't understand y'all. Oh, I know they great actors, and some of them are hired to do this. Some, like I said, they playing in each other. These two, it's a play because she probably did get paid allegedly. You know what I'm saying? Then she asked for immunity to say nothing, and got paid, and got pregnant during the process. I guess for sympathy, he bringing his child to court because he from Canada, so he can get deported. And she don't know what the hell happened. She really don't know because she was drunk. Come on now. It's self-explanatory.
Up in effing smoke. Why? Because it was based on the statements that the person had prior. That person would then have perjured themselves, and then the trial could be against Kelsey. So it is a complete and utter mess right now. It is getting sorted out. It's going to be more tomorrow, but this is a major break in the Tory Lanez Megan Thee Stallion case. It's not clear for whatever's next. That's what I will say. We all know Meg got shot in the foot. That has been established. There have been text messages that contradict what Kelsey is going to be saying or could possibly be saying. It's a major deal right now. It's a blockage. Oh,
I can't with you, Juice. I cannot with you. Then they trying to debate whether it was shrapnel or well, actually, ain't it all the same? If they pulled out fragments, something went in up. Oh Lord, yeah.
Oh, and let me tell you one more thing. Kelsey is campaigning for contempt of court. That is no doubt about that. Once you have immunity in place, the general synopsis, the general thing is you must answer the prosecutor's questions or the defense questions or the judge's questions without hesitation. If she continues to refuse to answer, look it up. She could be placed in contempt of court, and the judge can wait until, and this matter get continued until a person decides they want to testify. That can possibly happen, or be sentenced to whatever the days are, and then the trial concludes while she's in prison or in jail, excuse me.
That's why that girl got pregnant. Y'all crazy. I can't wait to see. Yeah, I can't wait to see men take up for a black woman that ain't been murdered like Breonna Taylor. That's the only time they get taken up for. Is when they unalived. That's crazy. So we shall see what happens tomorrow. They all are. Every last one of them. All three of them are. Y'all giving him. Y'all keep saying she is, but y'all not. Y'all not. They are too. Every last one of them done had inconsistencies in a story. No, not take up for any black woman, but take up for one at least. One is still alive. Oh, I ain't even noticed it. Wipe your glasses off, as Doogie would tell me. But yeah, so I don't know. Rob, you and your conspiracy theories are just beneath me at this point. Y'all crazy. I ain't never seen y'all taking up for one, to be honest. But yeah, so that was, I guess, day one, two, and three in a nutshell. I guess we'll come back tomorrow for day four. No. How is he a snitch? He didn't tell nothing. He just said he was guilty. Get me up out of here. It's a whole nother topic. Who needs to do some homework? Stop. I don't care if that was a man or a woman, whoever it was they was a victim of some type of indecent act. Who was yeah, kinda sorta. You asked, didn't you ask that we think he was? Rob, your name just doesn't look right that color. The green is so pretty in the chat. Well, he wanted up out of there. Ain't got nothing to do with that. They weren't even telling y'all the whole truth and nothing but the truth. That man wasn't even in the same. They had everybody think he was in Fulton. Do y'all know they had lost him in the system? He was in Clayco. And I don't somebody in his case or dealing with his case didn't even know that. Oh well, fire him then. He he out. Hey, He said, "Forget it. I plead guilty. I did it. Whatever y'all said, I did. I did it. Get me up out of here." He ain't about that life. Who wasn't no victim? You talking about oh yeah, who ain't no victim? I guess. Think Thug mad at him? Hmm. Well, it's a lot of that going on up in they little crew. So, what make him any different? I agree with that too. Like, I wish they would leave us alone. I wish Diddy, Krishan, Blueface, Meg, um, what's her name? My Young Miami, Tory. I wish they would all leave us alone. I guess. Yeah, he the one telling. So y'all say, even though he had proved it was somebody else. And what else? How she ain't no victim? There was a crime committed. Why she ain't no victim? Because she was taking her best friend backwash. Make it make sense, Rob. Hey, it is what it is. He want up out of there. Hey, you gonna be mad at him for wanting up out of there? Y'all ain't talking about the other ones, right, Rob? Because they all clones anyway. Hey, oh, you done had you can't even listen to him the same. Y'all crazy, crazy. Y'all crazy. So now y'all finna throw stones at him. Snitched and pulled off in the Maybach. Y'all crazy. I don't remember him saying he snitched and pulled off in the Maybach. What song was that on? Y'all crazy. Well, that concludes day 3. 1, 2, 3 in a nutshell. Y'all crazy. Brenda, what you gonna do with them? They love persecuting our women. Never protected. Never. Okay. Well, with that being said, y'all, I'm going to shut this one down. And thank you for pulling up. Thank you for the membership juice. I'm gonna start doing more membership lives. Push it, please. You say push it, please. You funny. Rob, shake your head all the way to the conspiracy office. With that being said,
what's up with it, La Familia? Happy Sunday. Just had to pop in real quick.
J-U-S-T-J-A-E, fake niggas free, M-O-B, first lady on the panel, just J is the channel. When you're watching, gon' sub, hit that like, leave a comment, respect what she all about. Haters gon' walk it out, a lady be a lady, right now bitch, close your mouth. A Midwest gangster, thuggin' in the South, a princess from Chicago, ATL queen, man. Pull up on the shoulder, she the hottest in the city, she a badass bitch, yeah, that thing seem pretty. Roll it up, light it up, we just wanna smoke and ride. If you look into her eyes, she'll leave you hypnotized. Soft spoken when she talk, don't get it twisted, get it twisted. She got lady too bold, yeah they with it, yeah they with it. In this YouTube street, she ain't come out here to play. Niggas like, who that is? That's my homie, Just Jay. What's happening?
good night, y'all. Thank you for pulling up. Love seeing all the beautiful green in the chat. Rob, you look like an outcast, but it is what it is. I'll holler at y'all next time. If I don't go back live tonight and talk about fee is nasty. But yeah, I'll holler at y'all later, maybe, possibly. But I'm finna take it out.